You are as strong as your environment, so let me explain. Here's the thing, your body and your brain are so good at just adapting to their environment. If you give yourself a reason to be strong, you will be strong. If you give yourself a reason to be smart and to need focus and concentrate, you will focus and concentrate. You see, the reason why we all have low testosterone nowadays, compared to 3, 4, 5 generations ago, it's because testosterone is a tool. It's a tool made to allow you to become competitive and fight your competitors. And it gives you the physical strength, it gives you the mental clarity and all of these good benefits that you would need. But when you're sitting at home all day, you don't need these things. You don't need the tool of testosterone because it's not going to help you at home. When you isolate yourself, it's not going to help you. As a man, your body gives you testosterone when you need it. When you're exercising relentlessly, when you're pushing your body to its limits, when you are challenging yourself, when you're pushing your boundaries every single day, that is when your body is going to give you testosterone. That is when your mind is going to give you testosterone because your body needs it. So in that case, you are as good as your environment. If you find it hard to concentrate, ask yourself, maybe you don't need concentration. When you're scrolling through the reels rapidly, what if the reason you can't concentrate is because you don't need to? You're not putting yourself in these situations where you do deep work for hours on end, which you need concentration for. Instead, most of your time is spent flicking through reels, which don't need concentration. So your brain doesn't give you the brainwaves to focus. One thing to understand is that concentration is in fact a tool, and it's only given to you when you need it. So when you spend hours every single day working on something in this focused state, channeling the flow state, that is when your brain is going to allow you to concentrate because it knows that you need it. Think about this, anything that's going to help you in your body, testosterone, hormones, all of these things are given to you in the right environment. Every single one of us has these genes that are just dormant and can be unlocked at any moment. They can only be unlocked in the right environment. So this is something that also made a lot of sense to me. It's about motivation. You're only going to have motivation when you need motivation. And when do you need motivation? When you're already taking action. And that's the mistake we all make. It's like we search for motivation before we even took action. We want to be motivated before we actually did the thing, but we don't need motivation because we're not in the state of action. It's only when you're in the state of action that you need motivation, and that is when your brain is going to provide you with the motivation and the dopamine because you need it, because it's a tool. You're always going to rise to the level of your environment. If your environment is challenging and it's inspiring and it just pushes you to your limit, it's intense, then your body is going to give you the tools to rise up to your environment. It's the same exact thing with goals, If you set yourself really, really high goals, such ambitious and amazing goals, it's like eventually your body and your mind are going to adapt to those goals. Because you aimed so high, your mind is going to give you the push. It's going to give you these ideas that are going to help you level up until you reach that goal. The same thing with your self-image. If your self-image is high, you think of yourself in such a good light. You like the way you see yourself. You have self-confidence. You like the way, the direction of your life, the way your life is. And you're so comfortable in your own skin. Your brain will eventually start to provide you with the tools that you require. And think about this, the mind loves nothing more than to prove itself right. If you set yourself a goal, your mind has that goal and just wants to be correct. It wants to be right. You know why self-image, self-talk are so important? It's because your mind always wants to prove itself right. Believe me when I say this, your mind will do anything in its power to just prove itself right. If you tell yourself, I will succeed, and you continue to say that again and again, what's going to happen, Your brain has a point and it has to prove it right no matter what. That's the thing. If you tell yourself with confidence that I'm going to succeed, you see, eventually you're going to realize that your brain has made a claim and it's going to do whatever it takes to prove this claim true. You see, the opposite is true as well. If you tell yourself, I'm a failure, you speak to yourself in a bad way, I'm a failure, I'm going to fail, I'm not going to make it through, I don't have what it takes, I don't have the talent, I'm not made for this. Your brain is going to do whatever it takes to prove you correct once again. If you tell yourself you're a failure, you're a failure. If you tell yourself you're all these things, you're all these things. That is why your self-talk matters so much, because it dictates your success. If you tell yourself, I'm productive, your brain is going to get everything and move the entire universe to prove that you are productive. So when the distractions come, all of a sudden you feel this urge to not listen and not turn to these distractions because your brain needs to prove the fact correct that it is productive. So no matter what it is that you want to achieve, you got to understand this one thing. Your life is always flowing in the direction of your strongest thought. Whatever you tell yourself every day, all of the beliefs that you have eventually become correct. They become true. In that sense, your entire reality is living up here. It's not outside like you think. So whatever you want, it's all up here. You just have to learn to channel it and allow it to come into your life. So always optimize your environment, because if your environment is good, you're going to rise up to that good level. If your environment is bad, then you're going to fall to that bad level. You either rise up to the difficulty of your challenge or you just fall below to the comfort you've given yourself. So I'm Dan. I make videos like these every single day. If you like this video, then subscribe. So the world is yours. You got this, bro.